Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Moto Aftermath Show. This is a race reaction video here, and we are going to react to the Denver Supercross that just took place. Literally just wrapped up, watched the podium interviews, and here we are. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. All right, let's start off with the 250 class there. No real surprise there. We're at the end of the season. There's zero pressure. The championship's completely gone, and what do we see? Joe Shimoda start having absolutely fantastic rides. And that's what we get from Joe. He gets these fantastic rides at the end of the year. That's where he gets race wins, moto wins, overalls, all that stuff. Beginning of the year, there's expectations for championships, there's expectations for podiums, there's expectations for all of that. Cannot do anything. Struggles, top 5 guy, whatever. You get mid to late season when all that pressure starts to go away because he's basically just not performed up till that point, and bingo bango, you start to see him do this. So would not actually surprise me to see him win next week also. But this basically, it wasn't a surprise. Now, outside of that, we have what's left to be the closest championship race there with RJ Hampshire and Levi Kitchen. Now, they come in, they're 2 points separated. RJ has the lead. The Thrasher move will go right there. Thrasher comes in the switchback section really hard, like lap 1 or lap 2 of the main event, and basically just sticks it to RJ's arm. And RJ managed to hold on. Thrasher didn't get him, whatever. But that was a very strange thing. Comment down below with what you think of that move. I wasn't a huge fan of it. Like, he was really reaching for straws there, and that's one of those things of like, it wasn't for the lead, you're not in the championship, so you're just kind of fucking shit up. Like, you're doing Vince Freeze shit at that point, okay? Maybe we should think a little bit more. That being said, this is one of those races, and next week's the same way that, like, I wouldn't be surprised to see Nate Thrasher win because, let's face it, Thrasher wins weird, just random races all the time, and he looked pretty good today, so it wouldn't have surprised me to see him actually pull off this win, but whatever, he didn't. Now, getting back to the RJ Levi thing, separated by 0 points now. They are absolutely tied, winner take all going into this last race here. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And until that checker flag flies, I don't really know. RJ's been putting it together, but RJ is just like Smith and all these other guys I talk about. Until that number 1 plate is in his hand and he's giving it a smooch on the podium, I don't see anything happening with it. Kitchen rode a great race there. Top 2 straps on his boot got undone, and it got undone, if you paid attention, there was a lapper that got to his inside coming out of the whoops and did not stop fast enough right before they started talking about it. If you rewind the race, you'll be able to see it's on the broadcast, and he actually gets into Levi a little bit, which is what undid the straps on his boot there, I'm pretty sure. Needless to say, that was a great ride by Levi there. If I had to give odds, they slightly favor Levi for next week. But that's just because I think RJ will try to push it to get the title. But again, I don't know. So anyway, outside of that, Smith and RJ playing chicken there. RJ basically forcing Smith off the track. Those top 3 in the 250 class, they were basically running away with that thing. They put like 17 seconds on Thrasher in 4th place, so that was it. And there was those few exciting moments, but after that, it was kind of a boring race there. This track sucked, plain and simple, sucked. It was terrible. I mean, these last few, they've been boring. We need bowl turns before the whoops, after the whoops. These flat corners fucking suck. All these 90s suck. We need to take a hard look at how we're building these tracks and like kind of the layout of them, because like we need long rhythms and 180s. That's what we need. So moving on to 450s there. What a race as far as the 450s go. Randomly, Webb and Eli both have hand injuries, wrist injuries, whatever now, which is just weird. I'm not sure if you all saw it because they only showed it to us every time he was on track. But Eli had some issues in free practice there. Came up way short on the triple. Not sure what really happened there. He jumped that like I jumps sometimes, which is weird. And then tip over in the corner, which that just happens. The track, because of the dirt, was so dry and it was loose on top, and then they were trying to keep moisture in it. It just made for disaster as far as trying to keep front end traction there, which we saw all night. But needless to say, Webb having a rough night there, only could manage like a 5th place there. But again, his hand is just shot, and Webb definitely had the Webb pouty face at the end there when they interviewed him. And I don't blame him. Like, it sucks. You put in all this work. You're that close. You knock down a 20-point lead to basically nothing where you're tied there, and now the kid pulls it back out. But again, like, this is just something that's kind of out of your control. I'd like to know where he hit his hand, where he hurt his hand. I'm not really sure. There's a lot of mystery surrounding these wrist injuries with him and Tomac. I mean, Tomac had the ankle injury we didn't find out about until he wins, and then now he's got a wrist injury that we're just finding out about. But how many weeks has that really been? I'm not really sure. I'll have to do some digging. But anyway, both of them struggled. I did think Tomac had a chance at going towards the front there at the beginning. He was pushing pretty hard. Then, of course, as we saw, he goes down because he pushes the front end. Same thing happened with Sexton. Sexton had a hell of a ride tonight, down in that first corner there, and then comes back, and, like, before even halfway, he's, like, pushing into the top 5 there. But then again, trusts the front end a little too much, and down he goes. So, the Lawrence brothers had a fantastic evening. Hunter's really coming into his own here. I think come outdoors, Hunter's going to be a real threat here as far as like a top 5 to podium guy. I'm not sure that he challenges Jet as far as outdoors goes, but we'll see. But he's having a nice last few rounds of Supercross here. I mean, he's won a heat race. He's been right up there battling, led half of this race. And again, I think if Hunter maintains the pace he had the first half of the moto, he probably ends up winning because I don't think Jet pushes and gets past him. However, Hunter definitely, from the visual, I haven't looked at lap times yet, seemed to slow slightly. And it was just enough to let Anderson start to close the gap on them. And once Anderson started to close the gap and Jet kind of knew that was happening, then Jet was like, okay, got to go. See you later, bro. And don't get me wrong, Jet was faster a little bit, and, you know, he put a couple seconds on him and then just kind of maintained there. And it was cool for them both to see it. And Hunter's playing the role he's supposed to, which is, hey, I'm here to support Jet for the championship at this point because it's not about me right now. But at the same time, like, Hunter's dying to win one of these, and you know he is. So I think he will. It probably won't be this year. It probably will be next year, as long as he can kind of stay healthy here. Because I think if he stays healthy, he builds through outdoors here. The SMX rounds go okay for him. I think then going into Supercross next year, barring, again, an off-season injury or something, you're going to see a much, much better Hunter Lawrence come next A1 there. Jet did exactly what we thought Jet would do, which was win. And he was very, very patient that whole race, just kind of letting the race come to him, which was what happened there. And now he's got a 20-point lead, and basically this is wrapped up because, let's face it, Webb's not really going to challenge next week. So Jet basically needs to go out there and just do the race, finish in the top 10, and he's got this no problem. Now, I'm thinking next week, if Hunter can yank a start and ride as even remotely close to what he did this week, then I think you see Jet just kind of sit behind him and kind of play blocker for him to allow him to win one of these races. But I don't know. Jet ties Chad Reed as far as rookie season wins go. So I think if he wins next week, then he moves into second, because I think MC had 10, maybe, wins his rookie year. I'm not sure. But something like that. Like I said, I think he moves into second. Either way, hell of a rookie year. And again, I'll say, I was talking about this in the live qualifying show, but if you go and follow the stats that Clinton Fowler puts out there, Jet's right on pace with MC, basically. He's within like 2 wins here in the first year. So there's for all the negative talk towards Jet possibly battling MC stats, which would be just a crazy thing, it's not necessarily way out of the question. The more interesting one, in my opinion, when you get to Jet is when you start talking about Ricky's stats, and we'll get more into that in the main show because I want to kind of bounce this off Justin here. But yeah, lots of interesting stuff with that. That's basically what I got here. Justin Cooper, good ride again, right there in the top 10. That was good, right behind Webb. And he was doing teammate stuff too, because he could have definitely passed Webb and did not. Tomac, after he went down, it really didn't rebound that well. Ended up 10th. And good job, Dylan Ferrandis, coming through the LCQ there and putting in the top 10 in the mains. So that's been the race reaction there from Denver. Comment your thoughts down below. Did I miss something? Am I wrong on something? Let me know. I know you guys will. Thanks for tuning in. Check out the main show Tuesday. Lots to talk about there. We'll see you then.